Microphones work as a transducer, converting sound waves, an oscillation of matter, through a medium into electrical energy. Inside is a small plastic membrane called a diaphragm, which vibrates in conjunction with an attached coil within a magnet, creating an electromagnetic signal, converting the wave energy into electric energy, which then flows as electricity out of the microphone into a sound amplification or sound.
Okay, crew, so here we go. In today's tutorial, we're going to talk about microphones. The last one we chatted, I spoke, we didn't chat, about your digital audio workstation or your recording software and your audio interface that maybe you'll want to use to plug in a microphone or an instrument in order to record into your software. If you didn't watch that episode, shame on you. You are just a... So now we're going to talk about microphones. Okay, so basically there are two types of microphones. In the myriad of thousands of microphones you can choose from, you have basically two types of microphones. One is called a dynamic microphone, and the other is called a condenser microphone. Now, in the condenser microphone world, there are two subtypes. One is called a large diaphragm microphone, and the other one is a small diaphragm microphone, and I'll explain what those are all about. And then from kind of these vantage points, you'll learn a little something, and maybe you can go and research and decide what microphone or microphones will work for you moving forward if you're a singer, a guitar player, or both. Okay, starting off right away, we're going to talk about a dynamic microphone. And basically a dynamic microphone is typically what you see on stage. If you go see a concert, or if you're singing on Sunday or Wednesday, or I don't care which day you're singing, on stage in a live situation, you are typically going to see or use a dynamic microphone. The most famous ones, the most popular ones you see are the SM57 and the SM58. This is an SM57. You're going to use it most commonly on guitar amps, maybe a snare drum, basically things on stage or pieces of equipment on stage that produce a lot of volume, a lot of sound. These dynamic microphones can take a beating, and you can bang it around, you can hit people in the head with it. If you're in a punk band, if you're in a mosh pit, you can nail somebody with it. It's an awesome way to go. The SM58 is the one that looks like this, but it has like that silver ball. That one is the SM58, and these are microphones that, because of the way they're built and all the nerdy stuff that sits inside them, which you don't need to know about, makes them a dynamic microphone. They plug in with an XLR cable in the back. Pew, pew, here's your XLR cable. And they do not need phantom power, which I know you don't know what that is because most people don't, but we're going to talk about it. So generally the ones I know you've seen have been the Shure SM57, SM58. Of course, Sennheiser, other companies make basically the same microphone, and they're really amazing in a live situation. Now, there is another really cool dynamic microphone that I want to make sure you're aware of. Whereas the SM58, SM57 hover in the $100, $80 range, which is, 1,500 Rand in South Africa. There's another microphone which is an absolute hidden gem. It is the SM7B, also done by Shure. Now, this is a bit more expensive. It's going to hover more in the $300 to $400 range, so 3 to 4 times that amount. It's an awesome microphone. You see it a lot for people doing podcasts or radio shows, or if you're Quincy Jones and you're making a multi-platinum album with Michael Jackson. Okay, so the next microphone we're going to talk about is ones you more commonly see in a studio recording, the condenser microphone. Now, condenser microphones are ones you see like these. You'll see them more frequently in a studio because of the way they're built inside, which again, I know absolutely nothing about. All I know is what they're able to capture sound-wise is basically considered more true or real to the natural frequencies of how we talk or how an instrument plays and yada, 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 and stuff like that. They can be a little bit more fragile, and they can, of course, run the price range from budget to you can't afford it. In the condenser microphone universe, as I talked about, you have what's called a large diaphragm microphone. I use this Aston, which I just kind of like the sound of, and the price point was reasonable. I've used other ones. This is called a small diaphragm microphone. Now the difference These microphones are particularly good at capturing the human voice. It just has to do with their design. I won't get into it. There are web tutorials and stuff like that if you want to find out all the frequencies, modulations, and of all the different microphones and yada yada. You don't care. Okay, this other one is a small diaphragm microphone. And basically, these microphones would be considered maybe a little bit brighter, whereas the large diaphragms are warmer. These are brighter, and they actually capture a little bit more articulation. So you will frequently see these on guitars. A combination actually frequently on guitars, and we'll talk about that in the guitar episode. So they serve different purposes. You wouldn't sing into this microphone. It would just be kind of too bright and harsh for the human voice. All right, so do you guys want to see like a $15,000 microphone? Hold on, let me get it. I can't afford a $15,000 microphone. So instead of showing you a $15,000 microphone, I'm going to show you about a $150 microphone setup. This MXL microphone setup. You've got a large diaphragm microphone, which is great for vocals, and the small diaphragm or pencil microphone, condenser microphone for capturing that brighter, more articulate sound. This is awesome. This is a great place to start. The two of these microphones together run you, or typically have run about $150, or in South Africa 2,000 rand. Great place to consider getting two microphones for like this for a home studio setup. Now, if you're a singer and just a singer, then really, a large diaphragm microphone is the way to go. But if you're playing acoustic guitars and you can pull it off, dude, the small diaphragm condenser mic and the large diaphragm condenser mic will go a long way for you. Of course, all of these microphones require XLRs. Pew, pew. And they also require what's called phantom power. Okay, so phantom power. Here's the deal. Certain microphones, like dynamic microphones, don't need any power to work. You plug them straight into your PA system and kind of they work in that context. I don't know how, little space monkeys make it all work out. But a condenser microphone has to be powered by something in order to actually send signal. Again, it has to do with phantom power. Is this magical thing that makes your condenser microphones work. It's basically voltage on any audio interface, even now in your software. Basically, it's just a button that you're going to push on your audio interface, and it says 48V, 48 volts. That's going to power your microphone, and boom, you're good to go. Now, between a dynamic microphone and a condenser microphone in a studio recording situation, pretty much everyone is going to say go with the condenser microphone if you're capturing acoustic instruments of any type, if you're capturing vocals. And they make fantastic condenser microphones as well that can capture the loud volume of drums, of guitar amps. All right, so of course, now there's another type of microphone that can be used, and that is your USB microphone. Pew, 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 pew. Okay, most microphones, whether it's a dynamic microphone, a condenser microphone, or a USB microphone, are probably going to need what's called a pop filter. Okay, so the deal is pretty much any microphone, if you're singing into it, actually has some level of sensitivity. And what that means is with certain syllables or certain letters that get pronounced, typically the S's, the T's, P's, those send a lot of wind and spit and coronavirus into the microphone. Now you want to be able to have a filter in there so that it basically keeps your signal clean and stops the wind from affecting getting that overblown sound into the microphone, which totally sucks. Nobody likes it. It's impossible to work with. Okay, so hopefully this has taught you a little bit more about microphones. You've got your dynamic microphones. You have your condenser microphones, your large diaphragm and your small diaphragm condenser microphones. The large diaphragm, again, captures the human voice really, really well. The small diaphragm condenser mic, or sometimes called a pencil mic, has just a little bit more articulation that comes through. And then, of course, your USB microphone, which is sort of a plug-and-play situation. And then, yes, you'll need a pop filter as well. Right, so hopefully now you can go out and you can start doing a little bit of your own research. I have a couple other YouTube links of people who go into a little bit more depth about it, and I will definitely send you in those directions. Now, at the end of this tutorial, I am also going to plug in each microphone and basically show you an example of each so you can hear how they sound and how they're all different, and that will help you as you kind of go in and decide. And as always, if you find something else, if you have questions about specific products, email me, connect with me through Instagram. I now officially don't like Facebook. All right, hopefully that's a really good place to start, and you have the tools you need to go out and figure out which microphone is going to be right for you. In the next episode, I am going to talk about
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Shine, Jesus, shine. Fill this land with the Father's glory. Blaze, Spirit, blaze. Set our hearts on fire. Flow, river, flow. Flood the nations with grace and mercy. Send forth your word, Lord, and let there be light.